Hi everybody, this is Mike Gerdes from the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living with Wonder Dog Yoga, bringing you another love note. I hope you've had a wonderful day. Hey, today I want to talk to you about expensive stuff. And the question I've got for you is, can you imagine or just think about the most expensive thing you have ever gotten in your life? Now think about it. What comes to mind? Is it that house? A lot of people pay a lot of money for houses these days. Maybe that fancy car, that education, maybe that was it. Perhaps that fancy wedding for your daughter. You know, there's a lot of things that we could spend money for, and there's a lot of things we could be spending money, we could be looked at spending money for, you know, trips, college educations, all that kind of stuff. But you know the most expensive thing you have ever purchased in your life, that you have ever bought in your life? I'll tell you, it's your own BS. And by BS, I mean, of course, belief system. You see, oftentimes we will tell ourselves a story, and we will think it's so, even though it's not so. I mean, we're so convinced that we're right that we don't recognize even when we know we're wrong. You get the point? The problem with that is it's really hard to move from that. We can be stuck in our belief system and think that everybody else is to blame for where we are or why we aren't moving forward. We're just stuck. And the world's out to get us, and that's just the way it is. Well, a good thing to do when you feel yourself stuck, or you're having a problem in a relationship, or you're having problems with finances, or you're having problems with your health, you're having problems with your work, is to get clear on what those problems are. If you would, the best thing to do is to write down what those problems are, what you perceive those holdbacks are, what perceive those tribulations are that you have. And then think about how they affect you. Do they make you a happier person? Probably not. Do they make you hard to get along with? Probably. Do they inhibit your flow of life and they inhibit the good in your life? Probably. Do you feel justified in having those beliefs? Probably. So what I'd like you to do, after you write that down, is ask yourself, what's your part in all of this? Yeah. For example, if you feel you're getting pressure from the boss, what might you be doing that you're not doing that would relieve some of that pressure? If you find yourself having problems in your relationship, you might take a look at what you're doing to bring love to that relationship, or bring romance to that relationship, or bring peace to that relationship. If you're having problems with your finances, you might ask yourself, what have you been doing with your money? You're the one that's been spending it, you know. And if you're having problems with your health, most people I know that complain about problems with their health have had a large part to do with it. But we keep on looking for outside things to fix us so we don't have to do our part. The point what I'm getting to, as long as we have our own BS and believe it, and don't act to change it, we're stuck. Not only are we stuck, but generally we go backwards. And things get worse. So what I want you to do, what I'm going to challenge you to do, is come to terms with a BS that you recognize in your life, that you've been telling yourself. That BS could be that you're too old to do something. That BS could be that you're too young to do something. That BS could be that you don't have enough money to do something. That BS could be a variety of things that if you but let go of, there could be some dramatic changes in your life. Václav Havel, the famous European, said that we can't get ourselves out of a problem with the same consciousness that got us into the problem. Which means that we need to change our BS. We need to change the consciousness that keeps us held in the problem. If you think life's difficult, see where you've been difficult with life. See where your thoughts have been. What have you been dwelling on? If you focus on negativity, even if you don't think you brought it about, what you are seeding thoughts for more negativity to be popping up in your life. So that's true. So if you see other people and you judge them and you see negative things going on, that's sad for them. But what is sad for you or me is we're planting those negative seeds in our own consciousness, and they have a tendency to outpicture. We need to stand guardians at the portals of our mind. We need to recognize that when we identify a BS, that we recognize is BS, that we need to change it. Now, how do we change it? Well, sometimes that's easier said than done. Because what we want to do is that we habitually think along the same lines. We have to change a thought habit. And sometimes it's not easy to change that thought habit. There's all kinds of tools that people have used. You know, I remember one tool somebody had was going around with a rubber band, and every time they thought a negative thought, they would be taking the rubber band and hitting it against their wrist. I think that what you could do is spiritual mind treatment. I think what you could do is talk with a spiritual mind practitioner. You could see some wonderful results happening in your life. And it's about time, don't you think? So that's all for tonight. I want you to write down what BS you recognize that you want to let go of. Just one. You may have several, but if you're willing to be transparent enough to share, just give us one BS that you're ready to let go of. And I look forward to your comments. Know your love. Bye-bye.